Welcome to Unscripted with Marilyn Morales. Today I am here with one of the categories of people that I love to interview, another medical professional. I know that you guys are going to get so much value out of this episode, so grab somebody else, subscribe and like my page and share it because this is going to be one that you will not forget. So Dr. Alexis McRae and I share a similar background. We're both from Williamsburg, Brooklyn, New York. We actually were at a church that we both attended, All Saints Church in Brooklyn, at the same time. For whatever reason, she and I can't remember our interactions, but we certainly do absolutely know each other, and so blessed to connect once again. Let me read her bio. Dr. Alexis McRae, MD, was born and raised in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. She graduated from Penn State College of Medicine in 1998. She completed her residency training in emergency medicine at New York Methodist Hospital in Brooklyn, New York. In 2001, she accepted a position as an assistant clinical professor in the Department of Surgery, Division of Emergency Medicine at Duke University Medical Center, and relocated to North Carolina. Her 20-plus years of experience in service also includes travel to many underserved areas to provide emergency medical care. Dr. McRae has always been committed to treating the entire person. She strongly believes that maintaining a balance between physical, mental, and emotional health is of paramount importance. Armed with her experience and a passion for helping people become the best version of themselves, Dr. McRae opened the doors of Your Best You in 2017. Your Best You Medical Aesthetics Health and Wellness Center is an appointment-only boutique medical practice specializing in skincare, rejuvenation, lifestyle, health, and wellness services. I'm mad that you're in North Carolina because I need you. Your Best You provides a welcoming, comfortable, and confidential space for anyone to share their body image concerns. Dr. McRae works closely with each client to develop a uniquely customized plan to realize their long and short-term lifestyle goals. Dr. McRae is dual board certified in emergency medicine and aesthetic medicine. Let's welcome Dr. Alexis McRae to the show.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, I am so excited to talk with you today, and I know that we're going to provide so much value to my viewers out there. I'm mad, like I just said, that you're in North Carolina. Because when you enter the 50s, we need a little help. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to make my way back home. I'm trying to make my way back. I definitely want to have a location in New York because I still maintain my medical license for New York in hopes that, I'll be able to come back and forth and provide services in both states. So that's the goal.
That's amazing. Let me know as soon as that happens. Lined up.
I will.
Patient number one. So, we share a lot of similarities. I'm a board certified holistic nurse, so I believe the same thing, holism, that we have to treat our patients, totally is done, not just the body, mind, and spirit, right?
Absolutely.
That they're not just a number or a diagnosis, not a room number or a diagnosis. There's a person there. And until you get to know that person, you really don't know how to treat them, right?
Exactly.
And that's exactly your same philosophy. And I'm sure you've taken that into your new business.
Oh, yes.
But before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about what inspired you to become a physician.
Sure.
Right? We come from a background that not a lot of people come out of that doing the things that you're doing. So talk to me about that.
Yeah. So growing up in Lindsay Park houses in Brooklyn, New York, I was in kind of not quite the projects, not the condos, kind of the co-ops. And my mom functioned really like a single parent, even though I had two parents. My dad was kind of absent. So my mom was the one that just kind of pushed through and did everything and was like, hey, I want my kids to be great. It's myself and my brother who's 6 years younger. And I watched my mom work really, really hard from the earliest time I could remember. And the most important thing to me was that I make her proud. And growing up, I was like, what careers, are great careers where I can take care of myself, take care of a family if I need to, but do something that makes my mom proud. So I said, well, let's see. Maybe I could go into medicine because I'm good at math and science. I could be a business person, but do I really want to do that? Or maybe I'll be a lawyer. Those were the three options I gave myself.
And I can see you as a lawyer. I can see you as a lawyer.
And I'm like, do you want to do any more school? No. But so I said, you know what? I'm going to be a doctor. I said this when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm really good at math and science, and I want to help people. So that is literally how I made the decision. And then I moved forward with that, went to All Saints. Then my mom sent me to all girls private Catholic school, Mary Lewis in Queens, continued to math and science. And then when I got into medical school, actually, the reason I went to medical school was I wanted to become a psychiatrist because I wanted to help people. And I wanted to help people through their emotional issues and concerns. And I really dove into that, even to the point where I wasn't going to go through the match system in medical school. I was actually chosen to stay at Penn State in the Department of Psychiatry and just start working there.
Wow.
Yeah, straight out of school, do the residency program and then work in the psych department. So I've always been a person who looked at the world around me, saw what people needed, more so emotionally than anything else, and wanted to provide a service that would help. And that was huge for me. And I was one of those people that had an epiphany as I was doing my electives in med school. And I did a few psych rotations as planned, but then I did a rotation in the emergency department. Super fast paced. I got a little bit of everything. It fed that ADD that people didn't talk about in the 70s and 80s. And I was able
rush.
I was able to be in a little bit of everything all the time, but also in that setting, people are always scared. They're always hurting. They're there because it's an emergency. So I said I was able to feed. I'd get the immediate gratification for myself of the pace and immediately being able to help people, but I could also continue to be involved in their lives and provide the medical healthcare services, but also there are mental health issues there that are running rampant. So Absolutely. I said, at the very last minute, I made a change, went to my advisor and said, I know we were going to do psych, but I want to go to the ER. And they were like, what? So I went to everyone that had done letters of recommendation for me for psychiatry. And I said, listen, I can do this. You got to trust me on this. Please change your letters. And then I applied for the match, applied to the emergency medicine programs I was interested in, and then applied to the program at New York Methodist Hospital in Brooklyn, which was only a few blocks from where I lived in New York. And I actually got my first choice in the match and went to residency at that program.
Wow.
And then,
what year were you in there at Methodist?
I was at Methodist Hospital from 1998, and I finished residency in 2001.
Gotcha. I asked you that because I had my daughter at New York Methodist Hospital. She was born in 1997, the year before. So I just missed you.
But see, so I was there from 98 to 2001,
Amazing.
Just doing what I do. Helping, serving, working in a community emergency department, because that was another thing. I wanted to stay in community medicine. I wanted to stay in community emergency medicine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with academics, because as my bio says, I actually wound up starting out my post-residency career in academics. But what I always wanted was to serve in the community. I wanted to be hands-on. I didn't want to have too much between myself and the patient. And I felt like in academics, you're the attending in the white jacket giving orders, but you're not always laying hands on. You're not always involved. And my mom got sick. My mom got sick while I was applying for jobs, for after residency. And they thought at the time that she had multiple myeloma. So she wound up not having it, but it was an extensive workup. And I didn't feel comfortable leaving New York until I knew what her needs were going to be. So because of that, I stopped applying for jobs and I just waited. I didn't find out until the early part of my last year of residency that she was good and going to be fine. And I didn't have a job. And so I went to work one day and I went and I checked my mailbox and the Annals of Emergency Medicine fell out. And there was this huge full page ad that Duke University was looking for board certified and board eligible physicians to come work in the ER to start a brand new emergency medicine residency program.
Wow.
I said, this is not what I planned to do, but always being someone who's like, this is good. This is new. It doesn't have to be what I didn't want. I can be part of something as it grows from the ground up and make it what I want, make it what it should be, you know.
And not a coincidence. Not
at all.
Fell out. That's what you were meant to do.
Exactly.
100%.
So I applied for the job and got it. And that's how I wound up in North Carolina.
No, that's how you got away from me. Okay.
That is how I wound up in North Carolina.
So tell me something about back to the psychiatry piece. You know, something stuck with me. So was that something that you learned that you liked when you went through that rotation, or did you always have like an interest in the way that the mind works?
Yes, always. There was always an interest, definitely in the way the mind works, but also in full transparency. Growing up, I didn't realize until I was an adult that I really suffered with symptoms of depression and anxiety.
Yes.
That I didn't realize. I didn't realize that's
none
what
of
it
us
was.
did. None of us did.
And if I did, it wasn't something we talked about. We're not from a neighborhood. We're not from a culture. We're not from a society where that is put in the forefront. You know, so as I got older and looked back at my life, I realized I had moments where I was sad, where I was anxious, but I didn't feel comfortable always talking about it, you know? So I focused more on my academics and what made sense and what was more acceptable, which was then the study of the mind. But in reality, I want to study it because I want to know my craft, but I want to help myself. And I knew that the only way I could help other people, was I had to help and heal me first.
Amen.
So
that's right.
That was the reason. That is the big reason that a lot of people may not know unless they've sat with me and had this conversation, that is why I initially headed in the direction of psychiatry. And I didn't leave it because I changed my mind. I branched out. And like I said, there was a need in the emergency department and I was able to feed, 2 different needs. But then as I worked in the ER and the hustle and the bustle and the trauma, I found myself getting more and more removed from the patients. I found myself more focused on procedures, the numbers, the metrics, which is what the machine calls for, because it's a business, right?
Right.
And I was getting more and more removed from the people, and I could feel it. And that's when I started to feel burnt out. And I felt emotionally where I had found something to fulfill me and heal me. All of a sudden, I was getting back into that place. So now you're talking 2001 to 2004. I'm at one of the premier academic institutions. I'm part of a brand new magical program. I'm an attending physician. I'm in a job that people would kill for, I'm doing great things.
But you're not feeling, before we move forward, you're not feeling it in your spirit, right? You're
Absolutely.
Not feeling it in your, and I think a lot of, we all have friends in the medical profession, right? I went into nursing at the age of 15, right? So I went to Clara Barton High School for the health professions, right? And took that program there. So we go into life with this servitude spirit, right? We want to serve, we want to help our communities.
Absolutely.
But that underlying, there's something wrong with us, right? I think we all suffered from some level of anxiety, depression, and no communication, because it was like, don't talk about that, right? The only thing you had to do was what your parents told you to do. Go to school, do well in school, make them proud because they're working hard. A lot of them are first time in this country, right?
Yes.
So they're working really hard to be successful, make us successful. So we don't got room for mess, right?
Yes. And we owe a debt. We owe a debt because they are working and worked and put aside so much so that we could have and we could do. and we can be. So there's a feeling that there's a debt there, so you want to do well because they deserve to see that how hard that they worked for you has paid off.
Absolutely. And you have to honor that, but also honor yourself. And this is
Correct.
where now you're at a crossroads in your life, right?
Yes.
Where your spirit is telling you this isn't it.
Correct.
So talk about that.
Yes. So now I'm 3 or 4 years out of residency. I'm at a premier institution and everything is great. I'm just doing great things left and right. And I feel empty. I feel like I am not. Now, this is not things I express to people, but I feel like I am not making enough of a difference. I feel like I'm getting up every day and I'm just part of a machine, and I didn't love it. And I was feeling fried emotionally. I was feeling just worn out physically and scared because I put a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of effort into becoming who I am. Because I'm not even going to say who I was, but who I am. Now, who do you tell, hey, this might not be it? So now I have to decide, okay, are you going to just give this up? And then what do you give it up and do? I don't know how to do anything else. That's what I'm thinking and feeling like. I don't know how to do anything else. I only know how to be a doctor. I only know medicine. I only know the sciences. So what do? I still got bills, right? I still got a loan I'm paying back. Like, what was it all for? But in thinking about those things, I said, well, wait a minute. Again, there's got to be a way to continue to use my skill set and reach back into the reason I got into this and put those things together. So as I'm thinking about it, one day I'm post-call, still broke. I'm not that far out of residency. I'm tired and I'm hungry, which was like my baseline. And I got it.
I love it. Hungry, right? I'm hangry.
I'm broke, tired, and hungry.
I'm hungry.
And I get invited to.
That sounds like the answer to that's the title to your book.
Exactly. Right, and at least a chapter title.
A chapter. Yes, ma'am.
And I get invited to a device rep luncheon. So I'm like, cool, I'll take a nap. It's free food. I don't even care what they're talking about. And it was a talk about light-based therapy to treat skin conditions. And this was new. This was like hush, hush. A lot of people didn't know about it. The people that knew about it didn't care about it because they were like, what is that? It's like junk medicine. I mean, I'm a trauma doc. I'm skedaddling off to this light-based energy meeting, So I thought to get a free meal. But then I start seeing the technology and I see the pictures of the clients that have gotten results. And yeah, I'm seeing the skin. But what I'm seeing is people who, when they initially took pictures, their eyes are down, their heads are down, their shoulders are slumped. They couldn't make direct eye contact with the person that was taking the photo. But then when you see the after photos, this person's shoulders are up and back. The smile is genuine and they almost look like a different person. It might sound far-fetched, but in that I saw the change in these people that was more than just my skin looks better. I think I'm pretty. I saw it and I said, but I was still quiet about it. I was very secretive about it because coming out of a setting where I am a Black female in emergency medicine, a surgical subspecialty, I still at that time didn't even feel comfortable doing or dyeing my hair or wearing makeup because it was such a boys' club. I wasn't going to turn around and go, I am loving these classes about skincare, health, and wellness.
Right.
So
and there's that psych piece to it. There's that psych piece right back to that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the light went off for me and that feeling of getting excited about something again was there. And so my contract was going to end at Duke. And I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to renew my contract. I'm going to do travel emergency medicine. And they were like, but why? I said, listen, it pays more and I'm in control of my schedule. And then I get to do what I want to do. Just kind of put it in a nutshell like that. Left that job and incorporated myself and became an independent contractor and used that time, that money that I made, and the ability to self-schedule to then continue to take courses in what has now become the field of medical aesthetics very early in the game.
Wow. That's amazing.
I didn't talk to anybody about it. I was on my own time, on my own work schedule. People, if I was gone, they knew I was out of town working or whatever. Nobody questioned it. And I kept taking classes and I kept taking courses and I kept meeting people. So it was more than just laser physics and how to treat acne. And it was meeting people, sitting with them, sitting in these conferences where we talked about how to grow and become whole and how to become the best version of ourselves that we could possibly be beyond what we look like on the outside. Because if inside is just a mess, outside, it doesn't matter what it looks like, you know?
Right.
And so that's what I did for the next 10 years while I continued to work in the ER.
Wow.
And in that time,
you spent that time learning or actually doing it?
I actually spent that time first taking individual courses that I sought out. And then I found out about 3 different organizations where you could do basically fellowship type training and get a board certification in medical aesthetics. And I chose the American Academy of Aesthetic Medicine because I was able to fit taking that coursework in with my work schedule because it had to get paid for. And then I was able to take the time off to also do the book work. I could do the book work while I was still working shifts, but the clinical work, I could make breaks in my schedule to go do the clinical. So to go to the workshops where we actually did the injectables, where we actually worked with the lasers. And then with the organization that I did my training through, we had to do and prove and show proof of 6 months of clinical training in the field. So while I was still working in the ER, I actually took a position as the medical director of a small medical aesthetics clinic in the town I was living in. I was doing a lot. I was doing an
overachiever.
Yeah, I was doing a lot. And, you know, and then eventually people get wind because they see you here, there, you know, but I just kind of kept it because, again,
under the radar because you were still planning. You're still figuring this out. You're still learning.
Exactly. And you don't want to hear, well, why? Well, what's that for? And so that's how I did it. So in that time is when I got to know people who were patients that then made that transition to the client space, because there is a difference between that. Because in this, I'm not thinking of people now as sick, right? There are people that are making a decision to be better for themselves, just better than they were. It doesn't mean you were, it doesn't mean you're sick. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean who you were isn't good, but you want to be great. Let's get there, you know? And in the ER, when I had the opportunity to sit with people quietly and privately, it was never for a good reason. It was always to bring sad news, to hold someone when they cried, to hold a hand, to give a hug. And honestly, I never had enough time to even do that. And it would tear me up inside. Something I couldn't show though, in the workspace, in the field. I couldn't show that. So I was taking that home and it was leaving a hole in me. It was a void. And I said, I know that I'm really good at my job. I know that procedurally I'm really good at it. I'm adept, I'm astute. I said, well, in medical aesthetics, I can still do procedures, but I can also have my cake and eat it too. And I can have the time to sit and talk to people. Because when they come in and they say, oh, I want Botox. Okay, I get it. Have a seat on the couch. Exhale. Want some water? You like the music? Want to change it? You know, and you see them exhale. You see the shoulders come down from under the ears. And yeah, we talk about you wanting Botox, but 9 times out of 10, they don't just want Botox. The kids are acting up. They're worried about the husband. Job is stressful. I'm trying to write a book. I'm trying to change my career. I'm trying to do all these things, but I don't have time to think. I don't have time to exhale. I don't have time to figure out how I can make the whole world happy. And this is men and women, and also make me happy. And we sit there and we talk about that. And you know what? In that hour consult, I promise you, 9 times out of 10, we spend 30 to 45 minutes talking about their lives. And the last 15 minutes is, okay, yeah, we can hit those lines. And you know what? Now that we talked about that, though, we'll keep them from coming back, right? Because you're more relaxed.
Prevention.
You're frowning less. You're less stressed out. We talk about how much water you're drinking. What are you eating? What are you putting into your body? How are you feeding your soul? Are you walking? Are you working out? What brings you joy? And that is now what I get to do every day.
Right. So here's a question. Have you ever had somebody come in wanting a procedure, but more because of all the stress and stuff that they were under? They think they need this in order to make themselves feel better, but it really wouldn't. Right.
Yes.
Anybody ever say, you know what, after talking to you, I don't feel like I need that anymore?
Yes. And the running joke is I am never going to be a millionaire because I've talked so many people out of procedures.
Okay. So you do talk them out of procedures.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And call me a fool, but I am about relationship building, and I am not going to let you, at the end of the day, if you go, okay, fine, I don't care. I still want to do it. Fine, we'll do it. But my obligation to you, the assignment I've given myself, is to help, to assist. And if you come in thinking that doing this plethora of procedures is going to be so life-changing, it is my responsibility to practice with integrity and say to you, it's absolutely not going to do that. And this is why. And then, you know, if you still want to, fine. But
you're still practicing psych, so maybe you should just get certified in that and bill for the psych part.
I'm still doing it. And that's the thing. I came back. I came back to it.
You're still doing it. In every aspect, you were still doing it. And you know, when you convince people that it's not going to be what you think it's going to be, right? And then some doctors will try to I suffer from migraines, right? And my doctor had told me, listen. And he points up on my laugh lines and he goes, if you get Botox here, that might help your headaches. You ever think of doing that? And I was like, I don't want that mess. I said, I'm not here trying to look 20. I'm in my 50s. Right. I'm going to look like I'm in my 50s. So, right. But then I was like, no, maybe I should consider it.
Well, again,
it takes my headaches away.
I was going to say, to that end, I do have people that suffer from chronic headaches and also don't want crow's feet and frown lines. And they do get Botox and their headaches get better.
That's what he said. That's what he said to me. You're looking at this the wrong way, right?
Yeah.
You're suffering.
So we have those conversations.
You can't have this medication. I'm very sensitive to medication. He goes, this is something that'll help that and probably take your headaches away, because I know that I clench a lot. I do a lot of clenching. I'm very serious.
Yes.
And I don't know how to stop doing that because I don't know how to stop being me.
It's tough.
It's tough. I think I need to be your patient. I need to get on that sofa.
Listen, I do virtual consultations, but you got to get into the couch.
I think I need a vacation. I will come to North Carolina.
That's it. I tell people, come just to see me. I'll show you around. Or if you just happen to be in the area, come on over.
It sounds like we have to do a live. It's live at your place, right?
I love it.
I'll get my injections for my headaches, people. Okay.
That's right.
My headache injections.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love everything that you are about. So
Thank you.
Tell my viewers exactly how they can get a hold of this fabulous service that you offer that is truly a holistic approach. How can they get a hold of you?
Okay, so if you want to get in touch with me, you can always call the office, which is 704-635-1229. And 9 times out of 10, I may actually answer the phone myself. So that's always a great chat. Yeah, occasionally. You can also go directly to the website, which is yourbestyoumedispa.com.
Which is scrolling right now.
And you can see all the services. I'm also on Facebook, Your Best You Med Spa, and Instagram, Your Best You Med Spa. And under that same name, I'm also on TikTok, and Pinterest, and I have a LinkedIn profile as well, and a YouTube channel, all under the same name. Yes.
So yeah, absolutely. You can't say I can't get a hold of Dr. Alexis McRae.
Exactly.
You're lying.
I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to find.
And you just said also you do virtual consultations. So if you're thinking of coming to North Carolina, you're going to be on vacation, you want to visit, but you want to meet with the doctor beforehand, she will see you the same way, right? It's like a Zoom type.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And we can talk. So listen.
Yes,
definitely. And I think you've already answered this question, but if you can sum it up in just a sentence or two, right? The question I ask all of my guests is, how do you define success?
For me, success is defined as the fact that I have found out who I am. I've developed a self-awareness and integrity and an accountability to myself to do the things that I know are going to bring me joy, and do whatever I can to share that joy with those people around me. That's how I define success for myself.
Yeah, and I think you so eloquently showed us that throughout everything that you shared with us today. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Yes. Viewers, get a hold of Dr. Alexis McRae, because I know I will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And for my viewers, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gabrielle Morales, and I am a recruitment coordinator for Be The Match. My journey with Be The Match actually began when I was only 9 years old. At that point, my 7-month-old baby sister was diagnosed with an extremely rare form of leukemia. Through the Be The Match registry, we were able to find a matching donor for my sister. And although a few months later, we lost her, her cancer was cured. Our family is so thankful for the additional months that we had with my sister. And ever since then, I've made a promise to myself to dedicate my life to helping children just like Isabella and helping families like ours by continuing her legacy. Hence why I now work for Be The Match. I love what I do so much, and I'm able to spread awareness about the huge need for more donors on the registry, especially those of diverse backgrounds. There is currently a huge disparity within the registry for minority patients, and we need your help. It is so simple to save a life and to be put on the registry. You can visit izzy'slegacy.com or text Izzy's Legacy to the number 61474 to start the registration process to be on the Be The Match registry, to hopefully be a life-saving match for a searching patient in need.